Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's PASS Women in Technology webinar. I'm Kathy Kellenberger, and along with Re-Irish, we run the chapter. We're all about encouraging each other, energizing and empowering other women in our industry. And one of the things that's really important to me is to make sure that other women get a chance who have the talent and the desire to work in this field. And even if once you are in that field, be able to get to the next level by presenting, by writing, blog posts, whatever. That really helps you to get to the next level. It's really helped me. We are proud that SentryOne is a sponsor of our chapter. Money from SentryOne goes to support the virtual chapters in general and also provides money for gift cards that we can give out. Redgate is also a sponsor, and today we will award, I'm probably going to give out two $100 Amazon gift cards today from Redgate. So they're sponsoring today. And basically I'll just pick a random person on the call. Whoever gets that, I'll send them an email and let PASS know who wins, and then PASS will take it from there. But thanks everybody for joining us today. All of our videos are published out on our YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out if you missed any of the previous webinars. Our homepage is wit.pass.org, where you can find information about our upcoming webinars and also webinars presented by other women in any of the virtual chapters. We promote all of those. If you join our virtual group, you can get our monthly newsletter, which also has information about women that are presenting, other news is coming out, and generally an editorial that's on a topic important to women. You can also find us on Twitter or email us at witvc@sequelpass.org. Here are some of the webinars that are coming up. There's another one today by Tracy Baggiano, High Availability and Disaster Recovery. Jen McCown has one, looks like in a few days, on beginning admin. And there's one in September, data types do matter. So we do about once a month, we go out and search for the other webinars as well as schedule some ourselves. We'll have other webinars throughout the year, so be sure to go out to our site or check out our newsletter to find out about those. There's also quite a few women speaking at SQL Saturdays over the next few months. Here are a few of them, quite a few in other parts of the country besides the US, and I know I have people from all over the world listening in on the webinar. So if you see a location that's close to you, be sure to check out that SQL Saturday. I just was at one the last weekend. They are just really great events, and they're free except for buying lunch. So that's pretty amazing. Today's webinar is Women's Mental Toughness in the Tech Industry. And if you're like me, this work in tech is so enjoyable. And you really want to make a difference, but it's kind of crazy. So many women who are talented and have the desire to work in tech end up leaving. And a lot of that is because they have that little voice in their head wondering if they're good enough. But there are a lot of things in the industry that discourage women from continuing. In today's webinar, Bobby Jo is going to share her expertise on empowering women through mental toughness to look at what's causing this workplace dissatisfaction and how to get over it. Bobby Jo Brighton is a partner, speaker, and coach with Mental Toughness University, which has been providing the mindset of performance edge for over 20 years to companies such as Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, GlaxoSmithKline, and Merrill Lynch to increase employee performance, exceed sales goals, develop leaders, and embrace and thrive through change. Bobby Joe is the developer of Women's Mental Toughness, www.boldful.life, which addresses the key issues that limit women's workplace performance and inhibit women from advancing in their careers and becoming effective, influential leaders. So I'm going to go ahead and turn control over to Bobby Joe, and she wants this session to be let me make you a presenter as well. Bobby Joe would like for you to ask questions, enter in the chat. So Bobby, can you see the chat window?
I do. Hello, everybody.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute then, and go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and Bobby Joe can address them then as we go. All right.
Okay, very good. So ladies, team, I know we might have some guys here on the call, so I'm going to use the word team collectively for all of you here as SQL experts. Let's take a second here, and I want to see if the chat function is working. I want to know how many people have chat. So if you can go just throw in a hello into the chat. We'll see if we can make use of our chat function today, make this more engaging versus me talking on and on and on. So go ahead and fire up those chats. But yes, I am Bobby Joe Brighton with Mental Toughness University, and also the founder creator of Bold for Life, which focuses specifically on women's mental toughness. Team, thank you so much for having me here today. This is a big, important topic. Mental toughness is a big, important topic that literally touches every part of our lives. There's a lot of ground to cover here. I'm calling this the intensive in mental toughness. And I'll explain shortly. We'll get a concrete definition of what mental toughness is. And some of you, you already have this down, all right? And I hope that you can take away some greater insights that are going to help you build your career to a greater level, and then also help you guide anybody who you manage, any team members that you directly support as well, and encourage. Others of you, you're probably like me, or like how I was, where sometimes you have it, some days you got it, and other times you don't. So what's going on here? And we're going to give you some insight there as well. Now, one thing for this presentation, I'm not going to do a deep dive into the specific challenges that women in STEM careers, women in tech are facing. I want to give you more of the, what's going on in your work environments. I want to give you more of an overview of what's really going on inside your head. And at the end of this, I'm also going to give you a mindset exercise that you can put into play right now, today. So to kick us off, though, we're going to, and I don't see any chats coming in. So Kathy, if you're able to see some of the chats, send me a chat and let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it to you for letting me know if there's any questions or so, because I'm not seeing anything coming in on my end. All right, so team, let's start. To introduce this concept of mental toughness, let's begin with a visualization. So we're going to start with a visualization, and before we do that, let me confirm to Kathy. Kathy, you can see the chats, I cannot. So I'll have you unmute at some point to give me some feedback as we go along. All right, so let's start with a visualization. So if you're not already comfortable in your seat, and if you're driving, do not do this if you're driving. I want you to get comfortable in your seat though. Close your eyes. Take that nice, deep, cleansing breath. Bring yourself into the present moment. And if you are driving at the same time, then just certainly be aware of your driving environment. You can still do this mentally in your head. And in your mind's eye now, I want you to picture holding a lemon in your hand. Feel its weight and feel its texture. Now take that lemon and place it upon a cutting board on top of a kitchen countertop. Take out a sharp knife and cut the lemon in half. Now take each half and cut that in half so that you have 4/4, 4 lemon wedges. Pick up one of the lemon wedges in your hand, take it up to your mouth, open wide, and take a big bite of lemon. And if I could see your faces, I would see that many of you are salivating, you're grimacing. And you can go ahead and open your eyes now. The point here is this: a thought is a thing. A thought is a thing. Through the presence of your own mind, the power of your own mind, you created a physical response in your body. You didn't need to see the lemon, you didn't need to feel it, you didn't need to taste it. A thought is a thing. Our thoughts, therefore, have presence and impact in our lives. Okay, our thoughts have presence and impact in our lives. So we're going to keep that theme of lemons as we go through the presentation here. You know what? Let me start the slideshow. How about that? There we go. Okay, so a thought is a thing. You are here today to think about your thinking. This is a mental toughness presentation. You're going to think about your thinking. Before we get into that in a deeper level, let me tell you a little bit about me, a little bit of background. How did I become a mental toughness coach? Okay, let me say it this way. Sometimes you have to teach that which you most need to learn. So team, in my past, I was always in my own way. Some days I really had it together, things were moving, going forward, and then other times, it's like I've got this death grip, this stranglehold of fear around my neck. There's this doubt, there's this fear, the self-doubt that, you know, I'm not good enough. In my personal life, I was a yo-yo dieter. If you looked at me now, you wouldn't believe it. I'm 5'5", small to medium frame. I weigh 130 pounds. I'm at a good, healthy weight. I look healthy, fit, and tone. But I used to weigh over 200 pounds. And on my frame, that was obesity. And as a yo-yo dieter, every time I lost weight, I'd sabotage myself, and then I'd put all the weight back on, plus more, because that's the way that game gets played. And this drove me crazy, all right, because deep down inside, I know I'm better than this. Like, why can't I beat this? What's wrong with me? And it was the same thing in my business. I had a luxury group travel business. I easily had the confidence to start a business from scratch with no experience whatsoever, and I was doing luxury group travel events for the top private clubs in the nation. But what I didn't have is I didn't have the mental toughness, I didn't have the confidence, the grit, if you will, to go after the #1 private club. Okay, the #1 private city club in the country is the Union League of Philadelphia. And I kept putting off that phone call to the Union League. And there was this voice in my head, get ready to start chatting to me, team, and Kathy, I'll have you on mute. There was this voice in my head saying, you know, I'm not good enough yet for the league. I'm not sophisticated enough for them. I'm not smart enough. I'm not experienced enough. I'm too young, you know, whatever, all of this head track. And I was frustrated and annoyed by this. Okay, when was this going to stop? When was I going to get out of my own way once and for all? And when was I going to stop faking confidence? Okay, when would I stop faking confidence? And when would I simply become fully confident and comfortable in my own skin? So in the chat, who here can relate to any part of this story? All right, so go ahead. If this makes sense to you, go ahead and say this in the chat. And if it doesn't say that,
everything is coming up in the question box that they sent before. So I'm not sure what they need to do. If you have the choice of send chat to Bobby Joe Brighton, see if that works.
okay.
Not you, but the audience. see if that works.
Yeah.
I'm still seeing.
Yeah, I see send chat to, there's a drop down box.
Yeah, so if.
Yeah, and if it just works for you, just to throw out, Kathy, some
Hmm.
feedback that, 'cause we're mostly going to see yeses and yes, I relate, yes, I get
Hmm.
it, yes, and we might see an occasional no, but I know that most of you are going to be able to relate to this. So if you're able to
Okay.
see, go ahead and just give me some feedback.
Yeah, so far, at least in the question things, I see a couple people saying that they can relate.
Yep.
And you're not seeing, and they are not seeing an option to send the chat to you, is what somebody said.
Okay.
So I don't know why it's like this. This is cool. One person said I thought I was not good enough to try to become a Microsoft MVP. So I'm asking, so that person, I don't know you personally. Did you get to become an MVP, or is that something you are still working on?
Okay. Yeah. So, team, what I want you to see here, we're not
No,
alone
no,
in
no.
this.
Hmm.
Okay, we're not alone that for the most part, many of us are dealing with this deep-seated feeling of not being good enough. A part of us, like we know we're capable of more, we're not able to access it. Others of you who have it really going on, probably you're more experienced in your career, and you just dealt with it at another earlier point in your life. So, but either way, we're not alone here. So long story short, I found mental toughness and I started thinking about my thinking and I started shifting everything in my head. And this funny thing happened. Um, okay, everybody, I'm getting a note here. Try sending to entire audience and we'll see if that works. Okay, so let's try that.
I
So
have
I
one
started
more.
shifting.
I have one more idea. I'm going to make you an organizer.
There we go.
And if I do
You
that,
can,
I think you'll be able to see the questions,
yes.
and that will be that will work better.
So.
Does that work?
Okay, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we get along. So, all right. Okay. Um, so yeah, so I found mental toughness, started changing everything in my head. This funny thing happened. I lost weight permanently. I made the call to the league. They became a client. Imagine that. And so, team, I became fascinated by this, that all I had to do was think about my thinking, adjust my thinking, and I could transform my life any way I wanted. And how cool is that? So then I made the decision I want to coach this. So here I am before you today. And this is what I coach, both women and men. I have a lot of male clients too, on how to transform and empower their lives through your own, okay, your own mental toughness. All right, so enough blah, 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 blah about me. Let's get into this and let's see what mental toughness really is. So who here has heard the expression, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react, all right? Chances are you've heard that expression. So bottom line, what does this mean? In life, there's only three things you get to control. You get to control your actions, your reactions, and your thoughts, your mindset. That's it. So mental toughness is the space. Mental toughness is all about taking control of your thoughts and skillfully managing your emotions so that you can achieve whatever it is that you want in life. Remember your lemons. A thought is a thing. So taking control of your thoughts, skillfully managing your emotions. My friends, this is the big playground of stretching yourself, pushing your boundaries, stepping outside of your comfort zone. And that involves change. Okay, change is scary though. Okay, we don't like to change. Change is uncomfortable. There's a part of us that naturally resists change, and that part of us holds us back. We'll see who that is in a few moments. So since this is the big area of change and being uncomfortable, we have a mental toughness motto, and that is, I am comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay, I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. Attributes of mental toughness. This is where your courage is. Okay, your courage to step into the unknown. You have an achievement focus. Okay, there's a bigger picture here. Why power? Why do you want this goal? Why do you want this career in tech? Why do you want to be a programmer? Why do you want to be a developer? Why do you want that? Okay, why do you want these things for your personal life? And then these things don't happen overnight. They take time. Okay, so we need endurance. All right, we need endurance to be in the game for the long haul. And it doesn't go easy. All of you have stories you could tell me where, you've faced challenges, you've had hurdles, you've had obstacles. So we need some resilience. We need some tenacity. Those are all components of mental toughness. Now, I want to give you a concrete picture of what mental toughness looks, literally. All right, so in your mind's eye now, you don't have to close your eyes for this one, okay? But in your mind's eye, I want you to picture a concrete office building, okay? If you want, close your eyes. Picture a concrete office building. And this is your office building of life. And in this building, you have a floor for your career. You have a floor for your finances, your health and fitness, your relationships. Now, we just don't pour concrete. We pour concrete around something. And when we pour it around rebar, okay, we pull it around rebar, and there's a rebar frame. Okay, so we all know this, all right? We pour concrete around rebar, and that's what mental toughness is. Okay, grit, mental toughness. This is your mental rebar. If the concrete didn't have the rebar, the concrete would structurally fail over time. And it's the same thing in your head. Life is going to throw you challenges. It's going to throw you obstacles. It's not always going to be a nice sunny day. There's going to be storms. And some of those are going to be horrific storms. How strong is your mental toughness to handle everything that life throws at you? Whether it's a conversation with your boss or a coworker that doesn't go so well, whether it's a conversation with a loved one, whether it's something that actually happens. How strong is your mental toughness to handle all this? So mental toughness is a muscle. Okay, it gets stronger with use. And how do you build your mental toughness? Well, that's by actually facing the challenges. It's not shying away from challenges, it's stepping into them. All right, and we're going to take a look at that through the rest of the presentation here as we go along. So remember where we started with our lemons. A thought is a thing. You're here to think about your problems. You're here to think about your thinking. You're going to have to deal with problems throughout the rest of your life. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have obstacles. The thing to understand, though, is that problems are only as big as the size of you. Okay, problems are only as big as the size of you. So let's take a look at a basic problem, and we're going to call this the level 5 problem. You only have one car, and there's a car accident. Okay, nobody's hurt, everybody's fine, but now you don't have a car for a month. Okay, your car's going to be in the shop getting the front end fixed, and it's your only car. So on a scale of 1 to 10, we get to call this a level 5 problem. Now, there we go. Let's go forward, not backwards. So problems are only as big as the size of you. If you have a level 5 problem and you're a level 3 person in your mental toughness, you're going to perceive your problem to be bigger than you. And in this case, remember what mental toughness is: taking control of your thoughts, skillfully managing your emotions. When you perceive your problems to be bigger than you, your emotions are running the show. Okay, we have weaker mental toughness at this level, which means we have anxiety, we're worried, we're angry, we're frustrated. We throw our arms up in the air. How the heck do I deal with this now? And I want you to make a note here: the only time you throw your arms up in the air is when you perceive the problem to be bigger than you. Now let's build on this. Let's say that you're a level 7 person in your mental toughness. You still have a level 5 problem. Have the facts around the problem changed? And your answer would be no. Okay, the problem is still the same. You're still out of a car for a month. It's still a level 5 problem. The only difference now is you. You're bigger now than the problem. So now the problem, it's an inconvenience. It might be a bit irritating, annoying, but you'll figure it out. You'll deal with it. Okay, no big deal. What happens when you're a level 10 person on our scale of 1 to 10? When you're a level 10 person, the problems, the facts of the problem still have not changed, okay? You see the difference here. The only difference is you. You're still out of the car for a month, but now you're a level 10 10 person. So now when you're a level 10 person, it's simply no problem. In fact, at these higher levels, it shifts. Okay, what was first a problem now becomes an opportunity. An opportunity. Here's my chance. Here's my chance to be green and get a new car with better fuel economy. Maybe depending upon where you live, you've always wanted to bike to work and try, so now you're going to try biking for a few days. Okay, whatever it is, you never see it as a problem. You see it as an opportunity when you're a level 10. All right, so. And I want you to make a note here, your level of mental toughness is not fixed. Depending upon the situation, the circumstances, you will be a different level. If it's something for the moms out there, if it's an issue with your kid, chances are you're going to be coming in from a higher point of mental toughness because you're going to be there for your kid. And then other things, you're going to have a lower level of mental toughness. So that we're not comprehensive across all areas of your life. You have varying degrees of mental toughness. All right, so let's go deeper into this on what's actually going on inside your head. All right, remember, there's only 3 things in life that you get to control. You get to control your actions, your reactions, your thoughts, your mindset. Problems are only as big as you. So the point here is this: grow you. Grow yourself so that you're bigger than any problem. So what's going on inside your head that holds you back from growing you? I call this is the head game, all right? The 2 U's, what we do is inside of ourselves, we get mixed messages. This is going to be a big slide. What we want to take a look here is we have 2 U's, we have 2 aspects of ourselves. And we have our lower self. So for those of you who can see the slide here, we have our lower self. And our lower self has a mindset of survival and protection. This is the part that I mentioned in the beginning that naturally resists change. Okay? It has a survival protection mode. And one of the ways that you can test this, if you're hanging out in lower self or higher self, okay, so we got lower self and we've got higher self. Conversely, your higher self is all about growth and expansion. This is the part of you that wants to take the step forward, wants to try the new things. What a great idea this is. And then if you've got a well-developed lower self aspect, you're going to get yanked right back. This is the part of you that's going to yank you back and say, no, you can't do that. It's not going to work. What a stupid idea. Who the hell are you to do that? What are you thinking? And that's the head game. This head game between these 2 aspects. Now, so this tug of war, for you to understand, is that the lower self is the part where all the drama is and that causes us our issues. So we really want to understand our lower self, and so we can identify it and we can shift beyond it. If you catch yourself thinking about stuff in the past, if you're dwelling, you're ruminating, you're taking something that happened and you start blowing it out of proportion, that's going to be lower self. Your lower self also likes to go into the future. Likes to go into the future and fantasize. This is where if only I had said this, if only I had done that, if only things were like this. That's all lower self. Your higher self is in the present moment. The future that you aspire to can only be created in one time zone, and that is the present moment. If you do not have yourself in the present moment and you're hanging out in the past or in the future and you're thinking, you're not moving forward on your goals. It's that simple. We have validation differences between the two. Lower self is all about external approval. I need somebody outside of me to tell me that I'm okay and that I'm good enough and I'm doing it right. This is where our need for approval is. This is where people pleasing is. Our higher self, you internally know that you're okay and good enough just as you are. Okay, right now today, you're exactly as you need to be right now today. You're still improving and growing as you go along, but right now today, you're perfectly fine. We have differences in relation. The lower self seeks security. Okay, I want a guarantee and I want to be stable. I want it to be easy. I want to be comfortable. I don't want to have to stretch. The higher self, conversely, this is the part of you that embraces change. This is the part of you that embraces the unknown, the uncertain. Hey, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to try anyhow. So this is where our pain is. In order for us to grow, we must go into the pain. And I've got a slide on that later on. We'll take a closer look at that towards the end. But this is the part of us that's all about growth. This is the part of us that says, hey, I cannot fail. I can only learn and grow. I cannot fail. I can only learn and grow. If you want to take some self-talk out of this today, team, those are the words. I cannot fail. I can only learn and grow. Lower self is where our fear is. It has a foundation of fear. It keeps us in confusion. We have perfectionists, and I know that many of you on the call today are perfectionists. So it's great to meet you. I'm a recovering perfectionist as well. My doctor says I'm getting better. But our perfectionism leads us to procrastination. We want to guarantee in our perfectionism that whatever I put my time and effort into is going to give me a result. It's going to give me the result that I want. And since we're unsure we're going to get the result that we want, we procrastinate. Conversely, our higher self, this is where our courage is. Again, we step forward into our comfort zone. The only way you can build confidence is by taking action. Okay? We don't build confidence just by reading a book, attending a webinar like this. We have to take action towards our goals. And instead of perfectionism, we know that we're just focused on excellence. I'm going to do the best I can, not be caught up in perfectionism, but I'm going to take the action anyhow. So this is all of your greatness, all of your potential lies within your higher self. There's no drama with your higher self. You feel the fear, but you do it anyway. And again, you take that action because you believe you cannot fail, you can only learn and grow. So this is where then, by spending more time as your higher self, recognizing when you're in lower self, that you're able to take those actions and build that confidence to where you're no longer faking confidence in your career. You're truly confident and you truly know who you are. Give me some feedback in the chat. Is this making sense? So let's get some feedback overall. If this is making sense, if you can see where it applies in your life. I can see, you know, it might be better to use questions because I can see the questions, but I'm not seeing chat replies so easily. So go ahead and I want you to take a moment here, pause for yourself, reflect on this. Does this make sense? And can you see where you've been hanging out in lower self in your life? And can you see the times that you're hanging out in higher self? All right, so just make that real for you in your own world. All right, and if you're able to see the chats between each other, you can see some insight from your colleagues. Now, we pay a price. When we hang out in lower self aspects, we always pay a price. You are paying a price potentially in your health, in your energy levels, if you're fatigued, exhausted, tired all the time. We pay a price with our peace of mind, our overall fulfillment of life, okay, our life satisfaction. You can be paying a price in your relationships. Your relationships with your family members, those closest to you, that might be a spouse, that might be kids. Are you fully present for your kids? Or are you coming home at the end of the day just beaten down and exhausted, and you don't have the time and the energy for your kids, and consequently you feel that you're failing as a mom, okay, or as a father? We've got dads on the call here. Okay, so we pay a price. Your career performance, your advancement, are you reaching the upper levels in your career hierarchy that you want to get to? Okay, or are you being held back? You're not seeking opportunities, you're not going for opportunities. HR posts, here's an interesting fact. HR puts out a job rec, and let's say that there's 10 requirements for the position. Statistically, your male colleagues only need 2 to 3 of those items on that list of 10 to apply for the job. A woman professional is going to need 7 to 8 before she applies. So are you not even applying? Are you not even putting your toe in the game, your foot in the game? Because there's another part of you holding you back that's saying you don't have the expertise, you're not good enough. And then, of course, that ultimately impacts your finances, what you're able to earn in your career. So when we hang out in these lower self aspects, this need for approval, fear of rejection, fear of using our voices, we pay a price. To go a little bit deeper on that, again, we have this part of us that wants to take on the world and believes we can do everything, okay? And that is our higher self, and that is a real, true part of you. But we get tripped up by this lower part. That throws us into our self-doubt. And we get tied up by the perfectionism part as well. So, ladies, for the women on the call, and for men, for you to understand what's going on with your women colleagues, words like bold, assertive, ambitious, aggressive, those are positives for a man in the working world. As women, we get penalized for that. All right, and we will hold back on our voices. We'll be afraid that we're going to get called bossy or difficult to work with, okay, or that dreaded B word, we're going to get called a bitch. So again, we can know that that's a lower self aspect, and there are ways to overcome that. All right, and you'll get one small step for changing your mindset at the end of this. Okay, so if you have your cell phones, this need for approval addiction is at Mental Toughness University. We've surveyed over tens of thousands of corporate employees. And we know that approval addiction is real. There is 99.7% of our working population suffers from some degree of approval addiction. This is going to be fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of looking foolish, people pleasing and such. And my gift to you is I'm going to make our approval addiction test available to everybody on the call. You're going to need to sign up for that. I'm going to need to know who to send the test to. So if you've got your cell phone, go ahead. We'll use the technology. You're all in tech. We're going to leverage technology, and you can text the word mindset to the phone number 71441. All right. For those who can't see the slide and you're driving, you'll see it in the YouTube video that comes afterwards. But text mindset to 71441, and then that'll come into our system, and then I'll be able to send out an email to you to SurveyMonkey. You'll go over to SurveyMonkey, and you can take the approval addiction test. I'm going to open this test up to everybody on the call for 2 weeks, and you'll have 2-week access to this test, and you're welcome to share it with other friends and colleagues as well who aren't on the call. But you'll get access to this, and you can see where you rank across 9 different areas of approval addiction, and that's going to give you some insight into what your personal hang-ups are inside your head in growing your career and living the life that you want to live. So, all right, so we got that. So moving on. Oh, and to clarify as well, you're going to get a screen that comes on. You'll get a text message back that says enter your name and email address. So go ahead, you can either do that now on the call or you can do that at your leisure, all right? And that I'll know who to send to. Okay, but that's how that works. Okay, so moving on, a thought is a thing, okay? What's going on? We are driven by our belief systems. As women professionals, we believe that the path to success in climbing the corporate ladder and growing our careers, it's going to be just like a staircase. It's going to be linear, it's going to be sequential, the treads and risers are the same width and the same height, and this is what we deep down inside believe. All right, but I told you in order for us to grow, it involves going through the pain, okay? But we want to avoid the pain. We resist the pain. That's the lower self. It resists the pain. This is what success looks like. The treads and risers are not linear. They are not sequential. They are different widths. They are different heights. They have angles to them. And before we step up to the next level, we go down. We go down into the pain. If you can see my cursor on the screen, we go down into the pain. And notice that the pain, we go backwards. We actually go backwards for a bit. And it's when we process through our limiting beliefs, okay, the things in our subconscious mind, keep in mind this is all subconscious. When we bring all of that subconscious head trash into our conscious thinking and we can deal with it, we go through the pain and then we leap up to the next level. Okay, we don't step up gracefully, we leap. There's effort. And when we do this, the orange blocks, we have increased our comfort zone. Back down here at the bottom, I was at this level and I went through some pain and I took a leap and I stepped up to the next level. And then I was on that tread and I grew a little bit more and I went through some more pain and I leaped up to the next level and I increased my comfort zone again and again, and it becomes this sequence, of going through pain, leaping up. And it can be just a short amount of pain, not that deep, or it can be really deep pain. It can be a little leap, it can be a huge leap. But every single time you do the good work inside yourself, this is a very introspective process, and you leap up to the next level, you have increased your comfort zone, you have increased your capabilities, you have increased your confidence, and you get to keep that forever. All right, you don't go backwards really here when you do this. So as I said, I'm going to give you a mindset tool now that all of you can take with you to start changing this game. All right, start changing this game inside your head. And what it does, it comes down to our language. Our words, just like our thoughts have presence and impact in our lives. The words that we use with ourselves matter as well. And many of us, we are stuck, we're using the language of fear, we're using reactive language. How are we on time? Kathy, we can try this next one if we want to unmute everybody, and we can try this one collectively as a group. If you're,
Whoops.
otherwise I ask you to mute yourself. But do we have everybody unmuted? Everybody say hello.
We don't yet. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Sorry. Let's see. Options. I do not know if there's a way to do it. There's got to be. I've never had this request before. Oops. I keep accidentally muting you whenever I try to do this.
Okay, I'm showing I'm unmuted, but
right
everybody
now,
say hello.
I think I can unmute each person individually. That shouldn't take long. May not be a good idea.
Okay.
I've unmuted
Right.
a few people, but then we started getting all kinds of feedback, so I don't think it's going to work. I don't know if individuals can unmute themselves if they want to speak up.
That's all right. Let's just keep it this way. It'll still come across. It'll still come across the exercise. So.
Okay.
All right. So everybody, take that nice deep cleansing breath. Close your eyes if you choose. And if you're in a space where you can speak out loud, I want you to repeat after me out loud. I can't. I have to. I should. I need to. I must. And let those words sink in for a moment. Feel those words in your body. Take another breath. Keep your eyes closed. Repeat after me. I can. I want to. I get to. I choose to. I commit to. Pause for a moment and feel those words in your body. Now, if we were doing this collectively in a group, I've done this, countless times. What always happens is that on the second set of words, everybody's voice rises. And it rises with a power. Here are our words. The words in the left-hand column, I can't, I have to, I should, I need to, I must. Those are the words of the lower self. Those are words that are based on reaction and fear. On the other side, words, I can, I want to, I get to, I choose to, I might to. Those are words of power and proactivity.
We're getting a lot. Not sure what's going on. We're getting a bunch of static.
Okay.
Let's try it again. You sound better now.
Yeah, feel that inside yourself. Did you feel that subtle shift inside yourself? Remember our lemons. A thought is a thing. Our words and our thinking, our words and our thoughts have power and impact in your life. We're here to think about your thinking. How many times in the course of your day do you say, I can't, I have to, I should do this, I need to do this, I must do this, I have to lose weight, I have to go to this meeting, I need to listen to this audio, versus, I want to go to this meeting, I get to lose weight, okay, I choose to work on my career and learn new things. So do a personal reflection there. How many times throughout the course of the day are you hanging out in the language of the lower self versus the language of the higher self, the language of power? And let's be candid here, it would be a lot. So the point here is to stop shoulding on yourself. What we want to do, let's break this down, is that this is where you start. Mental toughness is a big nut. Again, I said it's a big important topic area. It touches every single part of your life. However, we don't come in with big sweeping changes. If you do that, you will fail. We start with small things. Small crimes lead to big crimes. So let's fix a small crime. Let's just fix language. Every time you catch yourself saying, I can't, I have to, I should, I need to, I must, just simply do this. Simply say, I get to. We'll break it down even simpler. Every time you catch yourself doing that, just simply say, oh, wait, lower self language, I get to go to the meeting. I get to go to the gym and exercise instead of I must or I need to go to the gym and exercise. I get to write this piece of code instead of I have to write this code. I get to go to the meeting and be present in the meeting instead of I need to, I should go to this meeting. Okay, do you see the difference here? Okay, all we did was just change, all we did was change one word. We just changed one word. So it doesn't get much simpler than that. But are you going to do it? Are you going to remember to do it? No. Because after this call, you're going to forget all about mental toughness and me and Kathy, and you're going to go back to your regular lives. So we need a pattern interrupt. Okay, we need a pattern interrupt. Is that our minds are designed for efficiency. So what we need to do is we need to interrupt our regular thinking. One of the things, if we were doing this as one of my conferences, where I'm speaking on stage, everybody in the audience has orange rubber bands. Now, I like the orange rubber bands because they make a statement. They're also great, bold fashion statements as well with our regular career wear. But you can use any rubber band. This is just one idea. Put a rubber band on your wrist and write, I get to. And every time you see it, you look down and say, why am I wearing this rubber band? Oh, yeah. How many times in the last hour did I say I have to, I need to, I must, I should? And you start correcting. That's where you start with a pattern interrupt. You can leverage technology. You can use stickers. Clients of mine, they use stickers. You can use apps. You're all wonderful programmers, so write an app as well. But the point here is this. All right, you can control. Mental toughness is taking control of your thoughts, skillfully managing your emotions. How do you do that? You start small. Start with your language. Okay, the language of empowerment. I get to, I choose to, I commit to, I want to, versus the language of fear. I have to, I need to. That's where you start. So to wrap this up, we started with lemons. That a thought is a thing. Okay, our thoughts have presence and impact in our lives. You're here to think about your thinking. We talked about mental toughness. Okay, grit and mental toughness is your ability to handle anything that life throws at you. Okay, mental toughness is your mental rebar. How strong is your mental toughness across the various areas of your life? We took a look at problems. Problems are only as big as the size of you. Okay, problems are only as big as the size of you, so the goal here is to grow you. We took a look at the head game, okay, the two U's. This is the tug of war inside of ourselves. We have mixed messages between lower self and higher self. Lower self is going to be all about that fear of rejection, that need for approval. It's going to be people pleasing. It's where our procrastination is, where our perfectionism is. Versus our higher self, which is where our empowerment is. We have the courage to take the step. We take the action. We feel the fear, but we take the action anyhow because deep inside we know we cannot fail. We can only learn and grow. Anytime we hang out in lower self, we pay a price. All right, we pay a price across these different areas of our life. You're paying a price in your health, your energy, your relationships, your overall life satisfaction. Okay, your career, advancement and performance, and what you're earning financially, earning your value. You pay a price. We also took a look that it's not sequential. The pathway to success is not linear and sequential. There's dips, there's valleys, there's pain to go through. Okay, we take leaps, and when we take those leaps, when we go through the pain and we leap up to a new level, we increase our comfort zone, and we get to keep that forever. Where do you start? You start with your language, small steps. Fix a small crime. Your language of the lower self, I can't, I have to, I should, I need to, I must. Every time you catch yourself doing that, you simply switch to I get to. Okay, again, this is very basic, very rudimentary at this level. We can all do this. But in order to do so, we need a pattern interrupt. Okay, we need a reminder to shift the mindset. We won't remember, so we need to interrupt our regular autopilot thinking so that we can shift the mindset. Let's see, if you've got questions, throw them in. This is my contact information. If you've got other questions, you want to talk more so about any of this with me, you can reach out to me by phone or email. On the website, there actually is, you can sign up for a 15-minute phone call with me on the website. You can take a look at coaching. If this really speaks to you, you want to address some of this. Let's see, the next group coaching is going to be starting up in October. That's Grit and Grace. But let's turn this over to, and private coaching as well, let's turn this over to questions. Does anybody have any questions? Or do you want to share with the group something that you learned? Okay, in our last couple minutes here, what did you learn that you're going to take with you, that you can take with you into your career or into your personal life that's going to have some impact for you? And let me see if we've got anything. So Kathy, if you can see chat, if anything comes up in chat, let me know.
Okay, I don't see anything. I think we've switched over to the questions, and I was just
Okay.
replying to somebody that had some problems 10 minutes ago that I didn't see. I think there's a lot of great information here, and one thing that's helped me over time is if there is something that would be really great to do, but it scares me, I know that's the thing that's going to have the biggest payoff. And I don't know if that's not
Yep.
exactly what you said, but that's something that's really helped me over the over the years to try something that really really scares me. And guess what? It turns out to be a fantastic thing.
Right. Notice that there is an inverse relationship between pain and growth. The greater the pain, team, I'll share with you one last thought here. Um, when I coach this aspect of pain, I talk about a tennis ball. So if you imagine yourself holding a tennis ball in your hand and you gently drop the tennis ball, when the tennis ball hits the ground, that's the pain. And then there's the bounce. The tennis ball will bounce back up, and that bounce is the degree of growth that is possible after going through that pain. Now, if you've got a tennis ball in your hand and you slam it down to the ground, and Kathy, this is exactly what you're saying, that is going to have a hard impact. That's going to be the pain, and man, that pain hurts. But then how high does that tennis ball bounce back up then? And that's the inverse. So Kathy, you're exactly right. The greater the pain, the greater the growth. So, all right. Anything else that you're seeing that's coming in? Otherwise, we're going to close this out and let all these good people get back to their day jobs.
Okay, I don't see anything. So last chance, if anybody has a comment or question, let me scroll down. Make sure I've scrolled down. Yes. No, a really great talk. A lot of really good, insight into why we're having some of the problems we're having and ways to deal with it. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much for presenting today. And the recording will be out. You'll be able to get to it from our Women in Tech webpage and also out in our YouTube channel. Probably tomorrow, those will end up out there. So thank you so much, Bobby Joe, and I will talk to you again soon.
All right. My pleasure. Good luck to everybody. Take care.
Bye.